Hello NFL fans and welcome back to the Wall of NFL channel. In the last video I predicted the AFC North division and how those teams were going to do in the upcoming season. In this video I'm going to do something similar and I'm going to be predicting the AFC East division and how each of those teams are going to be doing this season. The AFC East includes the Patriots, the Bills, the Dolphins and the Jets. And let's get into the video and see how they're going to do. Last season, the Buffalo Bills took the reins in the division. They finished the year 13-3 and finished really strong at that. They only lost out to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. The Dolphins, on the other hand, they were so close to the playoffs. They narrowly missed out based on matchups and tiebreakers, and they were so close to doing it, and I think they deserve to get into the playoffs. The Patriots had previously won the division 12 years in a row. But last season, without Tom Brady, they finished 7-9, their first losing season in 19 years. The Jets, they were definitely the larking stock of the division, and possibly the league as well. They went 2-14 and got the number 2 overall pick in the draft. I'm expecting the Buffalo Bills next season to do really well. I'm expecting them to go around 13-4, possibly more, possibly lower, but definitely in the race to get to the Super Bowl. I think they're one of the few teams that can make it to the Super Bowl next season, and especially with the step up of Josh Allen who had last season and the coaching staff with Sean McDermott as head coach, I'm expecting them to do really well and be the talk of the AFC. I think against the Chiefs, those two teams are one of the only two teams that can really make it to the Super Bowl from the AFC. I'm expecting Josh Allen to be just as good as he was last year because every season since he's entered the league, he has gotten better and better and better. They haven't had many notable additions or departures from the rosters this season or the coaching staff, so I expect that team to be very stable. And as I said before, they have really progressed in the last few seasons, so I'm expecting that progression to continue into this upcoming 2021 NFL season. I think that the Miami Dolphins this upcoming season are going to have a really good year. I don't think they'll be quite as good as the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs, but I think they have a great chance to get a top wildcard spot in the AFC. They had a good offseason, drafting Jalen Waddle with their number 6 overall pick, and the flow that he will have with Tua at quarterback, I think they'll have a great connection and they'll do really well, propelling that offense to be just as good as some of the other top offenses in the league, like the Colts. Their defense is fantastic, and Brian Flores at head coach has really changed the culture of the Miami Dolphins. Just 2 seasons ago, in 2019, they started the year as the laughing stock of the league, losing by 50 points some weeks. However, by the end of 2019, Brian Flores had really changed that culture, and they were looking like a team that could potentially in the future be a good side. That time has now come, and I think in this 2021 season, they will replicate their success in the 2020 season, in fact, getting an extra win or 2 on last season. I think they'll be battling with the Patriots for that second spot in the AFC East, but they will just beat out the Patriots in that last game of the season. Most fans hate the habitual winners in sports, and the Patriots over the last 20 years were an amazing team that people really started to hate by the end of it. Now that Tom Brady has left though, the Patriots really stunk last year, and they only finished 7-9. As I said earlier in the video, this is their first losing season in a very long time. However, in this upcoming season, I think they're going to do a lot better. Bill Belichick is going to adapt to the life without Tom Brady, and especially this offseason, picking up so many fantastic free agents, and especially redeveloping that tight end position in New England, is really going to put them in good position to win next season. The free agency additions are really going to be welcomed by Cam Newton, who's going to have new weapons to throw to and new options, and he won't have to carry the team just by himself. I think this season they could finish about 10-7, just one win or so behind the Dolphins, and I do think that that second spot in the division is going to come down to that final game of the season where the Patriots and the Dolphins do square off against each other. It's going to be a really interesting game, and that's one of the ones that I'm raring to see in this upcoming season. I know it's going to be all the way in December, but I think it's a fantastic game to watch, and I'm already excited for that big deciding game that I think it's going to be. The Patriots this offseason drafted Mac Jones with the 15 overall pick in the draft. Whilst I don't think he'll figure this season because they have got Cam Newton, I do think he is going to be their long-term project, potentially starting in 2022. The Jets have been bad for over a decade now. They haven't been to the playoffs in quite some time, and they're starting to pick in the top 10 most seasons now in the draft. That goes to show that no matter what they do, they seem to be really bad every single season. I don't think that's really going to change this year. Even drafting Zach Wilson, I don't think he's going to be the guy to really take them to a winning record this season. Whilst I think he could do potentially in the future, he is quite a raw talent that will need to be developed and will take some time, potentially 2 or 3 seasons, just like Josh Allen did with the Buffalo Bills. They do have a fantastic head coach though, Robert Saleh. Whilst I know he hasn't coached a game yet in the NFL, every single player in the NFL loves him, and he is definitely going to be the head coach that no one is going to quit on. All the players seem to want to play with him this offseason, especially the likes of Deshaun Watson, who's looking for a new team. I do think though that giving them 5 wins, which I have done this season, might be a little bit generous in fact. I really don't think they're going to be good this year, as even though they drafted their new quarterback, Zach Wilson, I think they haven't quite got the pieces around him for that team to develop and be a solid challenger for even a winning record in that division. We are yet to see this season though, and I have given them a few upsets here and there, so I don't think they will be the worst team in the league, just one of the worst. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and be sure to stay tuned for my future predictions on the other divisions around the NFL. Also check out the website, wallofnfl.com, and the other social media pages in the description below, such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.